I hope everyone's doing well. This past week, maybe you heard the news of Eva and I and the family. We were able to celebrate our son Aaron's engagement to Shoshi Charles. We're very happy, Baruch Hashem. It's always good to have good news, and especially during some difficult times. So we should all share in simchas together. This week, Parshas Toldos is very interesting. People usually have an instinctive reaction that Esav was cheated. In the beginning of the Parsha, when it comes to extorting, what appears to be extortion, a sale of the Bechorah, the firstborn birthright, for just a measly bowl of porridge of lentils. And then at the end of the Sedra, it's even more dramatic with the whole ruse that Yaakov Avinu, he receives the special coveted brachos, the blessings of the firstborn, and Esav is relegated to second tier. And what did Esav do? He may not have been an angel, but still, he was the firstborn, and it seems to be everything done on false pretenses. So this is obviously the challenge when it comes to Parshas Toldos, to really understand what happened. We don't have enough time in this video to go pasuk by pasuk and have a whole shiur, but consider the following. It's a very important message in general in life, and I think this is really the core message of what was wrong with Esav. It's one thing for a person to be deceptive and to practice some sort of subterfuge on others. It's a terrible thing. We have to live a life of emes. But the greatest tragedy is when a person fools himself or herself. Esav, really, that was his problem. If we go into the Esav makeup, his persona, he was somebody who was living in the moment. The Rabbeinu Bachya really explains very nicely how they were two opposites in every sense of the word, Yaakov and Esav. And Esav, because he was so lochut, he was so infatuated and full of finding pleasure in this world, he was really denying what his life was all about. It was one of these treadmills of life where there is this constant pursuit for fulfillment and satisfaction, but it's just a joyride which never comes to its destination. What Yaakov was really doing was trying to explain to Esav what he was trading. Are you really sure you want to give up something which is so valuable just in the moment because you want to satisfy your hunger? It wasn't extortion, it was a moment of opportunity for Esav to realize what he was trading. And of course, the pasuk testifies that he realized it because he didn't care. Vayivez Esav es ha-bechora. That wasn't Yaakov's commentary that Esav showed a lack of regard. He was disgusted. He despised the right of the firstborn. But it's the Torah saying that in his heart, because Esav wasn't being honest with himself, so it was worth it. It was something that he felt was a good deal on his end. When he gave up the brachos, it was because he wasn't going to use them for the best purposes because of the lifestyle that he chose. He could have had it all, but he chose himself. It was a voluntary decision to abandon what was really important. And that's the greatest tragedy in life, when a person lives a life of lies where one is really being dishonest with oneself. There are moments of awakening, but usually it's too late. And when Esav realizes at the end of the Sedra what he gave up, it was a moment of lucidity, but it was too late. And he cries out because he knew that he was wrong. It's very interesting, we'll close with this, that the Rabbeinu Bachya says, what was the imagery? Why did it have to be a bowl of lentils? And we know that it's associated with the cycle of life and mourning, that a lentil is oval, and it's a sphere, and therefore no one lives forever. The Rabbeinu Bachya says it's a different emphasis, is that when a person is so engaged in materialism, so there is this vicious cycle. There are the highs and the pleasure moments, but they're very brief, and they vanish in an instant, and then it has to start all over again, but it's this endless pursuit without any fulfillment, as opposed to Yaakov, who always was able to find, because of his long-term vision and patience and work ethic and sincerity, he was able to find fulfillment in life, even if it took a lifetime to achieve. We're saying a lot in a short amount of time, but it's a lot to ponder, and it really speaks to human existence. The greatest tragedy of all is when a person lives a life of deceit to oneself, what might be interpreted as deception on Yaakov's part was really the opportunity for Esav to wake up. And when he did, it was too late. And that is unfortunately the devastation of a lifestyle of Esav. That's why we are the children of Yaakov, and hopefully we go in the opposite direction, always upward, onward, always trying to achieve, to find fulfillment. Everyone have a wonderful Shabbos.